information laid down by the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency. All vessels are fitted with life rafts, which, in the unlikely event of an emergency, will either float free or be launched by a crew member. Life jackets are stored under seating or in boxes marked with a green life jacket sign. Emergency exits are also clearly marked by green signs, and the vessel is in constant radio communication with the river authorities.
Okay, we moving. But everyone like most of gone upstairs. I don't know if people drive liquor. You want to take crepes? You want crepes?
What's it?
So thank you.
What's it?
I don't know.
I just want to be cute.
Just being cute.
Want chocolate then? Yeah. You want chocolate?
So how was it when I go down?
It was good. What? This one? My grandma's there.
Oh, okay. I feel sick.
Okay, good evening everybody and welcome aboard the London Rose for our journey downriver.
We're on the London
We are
Road.
travelling to
We're
Tower
not
Bridge Quay, St
videoing,
Catherine
come on
Pier, from
YouTube.
Tower Bridge and Tower
You're not
London.
doing YouTube?
After that, we turn
Okay.
around, we cruise back up to Westminster again. Down in the saloon we have toilet facilities and we have a fully licensed bar. At the bar, you can pay with cash or card. You can buy cold beer, wine, spirits, soft drinks, hot tea and coffee, and a range of snacks, all available at the bar. On our journey, I'm going to point out a few places of interest. I will warn you that we're not tour guides on these boats, we're only crew of the boat. When I make a mistake or get a bit lost, do bear with me. On our right-hand side, we've got London's #1 tourist attraction, the London Eye.
That's the
Now,
London
the Eye
Eye.
opened in the millennium year. It was sponsored by British Airways. They sold the Eye because it wasn't making them enough money. While a sunny day in London, the Eye can make up to £16,500 in only 30 minutes. So I have no idea what kind of money they wanted to make.
In 30
but apparently
minutes?
that wasn't
Wow.
enough. We're about to pass through Charing Cross Railway Bridge. There are also 2 footbridges
It's
here.
right here.
We have the Golden Jubilee Walkway and the Hungerford Footbridge. These were added to commemorate Queen Elizabeth II's Golden Jubilee.
Jubilee?
Through this bridge off to the right is Royal Festival Hall, the last remaining building from the Festival of Britain in 1951. The acoustics in that concert hall are so effective, you can't even hear the sound of the trains that run alongside. Now we're just turning the boat to make a very quick stop at Festival Pier. Got to pick up a small number of people. After that we continue our journey down to the tower. So bear with me for a few moments, folks.
And I'm here with the beautiful Tanisha. You can go and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Or anything for the bar. Now is the perfect
What's your
time.
YouTube channel?
But do take extra care while moving around.
DP
the
Kids.
boat.
DP Kids Life, yeah? Subscribe.
Subscribe. I'm going to put the link. I'm going to put them in my communal guide. So please subscribe, guys. We are out.
Hello.
Yeah, we are out. Right, we're going over there. London River. They're going to pick up some more people. Yeah. Yeah, like really nice and refreshing and cool and yeah. Maybe need to book a cruise soon.
Oh, yeah? Makes sense.
Yeah. Kind of, I will like a 1 month round the world Caribbean country. Yeah.
With the services vessel. Under maritime regulations, we are obliged to inform you of the vessel's safety equipment. All vessels operated by Thames River Services comply with the regulation laid down by the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency. All vessels are fitted with life rafts, which, in the unlikely event of an emergency, will either float free or be launched by a crew member. Life jackets are stored under seating or in boxes marked with a green life jacket sign. Emergency exits are also clear.
Quick safety announcement. To tell you the boat's licensed by the Maritime Coast Guard Agency. It's equipped with a full complement of life rings, life rafts and life jackets. All of our emergency equipment and emergency exits are clearly marked with green and green signs. In the very unlikely event of an emergency,
in the middle of the water.
you will be told how to see by a member.
Yo, people, wicked man.
On the journey, I'm pointing out places of interest. I will warn our new passengers that there are not tour guides on these boats, but only the crew of the boat. When I make a mistake, do bear with me. On our left, we're passing London's oldest landmark, Cleopatra's Needle. That obelisk stood in Heliopolis in Egypt in around 1500 BC. It was given to us by a grateful Egyptian viceroy after British victories over the French. The bridge ahead of the boat is Waterloo Bridge, affectionately known as the Ladies' Bridge. That's because it was built by the Women's Land Army during the Second World War. The Ladies built the longest bridge in central London, just under a quarter of a mile. And it's one of the only bridges in central London to be built on time and on budget. So well done to the girls.
Well done to the government.
On our left is Somerset House with its green dome. That was built by William Chambers in 1796. It was home to the registrar for all births, marriages and deaths. They had a curious nickname in our civil service. They were known as the Hatcham, Matcham and Dispatcham Department. When they eventually moved out, the Inland Revenue moved in, so it became the Catcham Department instead. Also on our left is the white ship with the yellow funnel. That's HQS Wellington. She escorted merchant ships during the Second World War. And in 1948, she was moved to Victoria Embankment to become the livery hall for the Honourable Company of Master Mariners.
So what is the
She's basically a drinking club for retired sea captains.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Ahead of us on the right, we have a red brick building with a tower on top. That's Stamford Wharf. It's locally known as the Oxo Tower.
This one.
That building was a coal store for the Oxo Company. When they had it designed, it was illegal to advertise on the banks of the Thames unless your company worked with boats. Now, because Oxo makes stock cubes, they have nothing to do with boats and they were taken to court. They argued that it was merely a coincidence that the windows up on their tower spelled their company name, Oxo. Now, surprisingly, the judge actually agreed with them. They've had over 90 years of free advertising ever since. I think they got away with a technicality, something about gravy boats. By the head of the boat we have the Blackfriars group of bridges. The first bridge is Blackfriars Road Bridge. It was built at the request of Queen Victoria to commemorate a Dominican monastery that stood over on the left. The monks at that monastery wore black habits, which is where we get the name Blackfriars. If you look at the buttresses, they resemble church pulpits, and there are statues of birds nesting underneath. On the upper side, there are statues of freshwater birds. On the lower side, there are statues of seawater birds. That's because this area is brackish water. It's a mixture of the two. The red columns are all the remains of the old London to Chatham and Dover Railway. That was taken down because it couldn't take the weight of the modern day trains. The Blackfriars Railway Bridge was built to replace it. On our left we have the magnificent dome. of St Paul's Cathedral. St Paul's was designed by Sir Christopher Wren. It stands 365 feet tall. It's the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in the world. The largest is on St Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. Despite that, the foundations at St Paul's are only around 4.5 feet deep. On our right we have the old Bankside Power Station. That was designed by Giles Gilbert Scott, but it closed due to the escalating price of oil. It's now home to the Tate's Modern, the largest collection of modern art in the world. We're just passing through the Millennium Bridge, locally known as the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. That's because it was built, that's because it was opened by our late Queen in the millennium year, then it was closed by the police because it wobbled quite violently. They had to close that bridge for 2 years while they spent millions of pounds dewobblising it just to make it safe.
Dewobblising it.
On our right we've got the white building with a thatched roof. That's a replica of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. It was the idea of Sam Wanamaker, an American film producer and director. But the next bridge is Southwark Bridge. This is the narrowest and least used road bridge to cross the Thames in central London. The approach roads are so narrow and so poorly signed, not many Londoners know this bridge is here. If you do see anybody up there today, give them a wave, because they're more than likely lost.
How is it?
Ahead of us on the right is a lovely riverside pub, the Anchor at Bankside. There's been an Anchor tavern on that site for over 400 years. It's even said that William Shakespeare had a changing room at the Anchor for when he was performing at the nearby Rose and Globe Theatres.
Oh, see the anchor over there.
This is Cannon Street Railway Bridge. It's arguably the oldest and the ugliest railway bridge to cross the Thames in central London. It was designed by John Hawkshaw. It opened in 1866.
So
Now
that
on
is
our
the bridge
right,
that they
dominating
said
the
is the
skyline,
ugliest.
we have the Shard. The Shard is the tallest building in Europe. It's 1,015 feet high.
Oh.
It's up there, you'll find London's only 6-star Shangri-La hotel, a champagne bar, office space, and luxury apartments as well. Also on the right is London's second largest place of worship, Southwark Cathedral. That's the resting place of Edmund Shakespeare, the younger brother to William Shakespeare. It's also where a young man was baptised. His name was John Harvard. He was the son of a local butcher. He later went off to America, where he helped to found the Harvard Library and University. We've just passed through London Bridge, the fifth bridge to span the river on this site. The first one was a wooden bridge built by the Romans in around 43 AD. This bridge was opened by our late Queen in 1973. It replaced the last bridge, which was found to be falling down. That bridge was sold to an American company for £2 million. It now spans the man-made Lake Havasu in the Arizona desert.
Oh, London Bridge Hospital.
On our left we're passing the sandy coloured building. That's the old Billingsgate Fish Market. There was a fish market on that site for over 900 years. It's now moved to larger premises in the Docklands area, where it's still famous for its fresh fish and the foul language from its porters.
So them still call it Billingsgate?
Many famous Londoners started their careers at Billingsgate, including George Orwell, Michael Caine, and the Cray twins, to name but a few.
No.
On our right, we're passing HMS Belfast. She was built in the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, the same shipyard as the ill-fated Titanic. She saw action during the Second World War, but she's now part of the Imperial War Museum. You can explore 9 decks of the Belfast from the engine room all the way up to the captain's bridge. Right to the left of the boat, we have the Tower of London. The square keep with the 4 turrets is the White Tower. It was built for William the Conqueror. It was completed in 1098. Over the last 900 years, the tower has been a royal palace, the royal mint, an armoury, observatory, a menagerie, place of execution, and home to the crown jewels. Traitors were tried at Westminster Hall. They were brought down with it in a small boat, and they were taken into the tower to be imprisoned or executed. Contrary to popular belief, less than 10 people were executed inside the Tower of London. The majority of the executions took place outside of the tower, up on Tower Hill. But we're about to pass through Tower Bridge. This bridge was designed by Horace Jones and John Wolfe Barry. It was completed in 1894. The centre span of this bridge opens like a drawbridge to allow large ships into the upper pool of London. As we pass through Tower Bridge, we leave the City of London, the 1 square mile, and we enter the Greater London area of 600 square miles. Which is also where we make our next stop. This is Tower Bridge Quay, St Catherine Pier. Now, if anybody wants to leave us here for Tower Bridge or Tower of London, make sure you've got all of your personal items and belongings. Once we're alongside the pier, it's only a very brief stop to let people off and let people on, and then we continue our journey back up river to Westminster. Folks, if anybody does want to remain on board, you are more than welcome to. We can take you back up to Westminster. Now, I did say at the start, folks, we're not tour guides on these boats. We're only the crew of the boat. We're not here to take you along the river safely. Now, we take it upon ourselves to point out places of interest in the form of a commentary to try and make your trip a little bit more interesting. If anybody has enjoyed my few words, I would like to show any appreciation for my Everton's guide. You can do so down at the exit, as we have a very old tradition. At the exit gate you will find me holding Captain's silver tip bucket. Anything thrown into that champagne bucket is very gratefully received. Now that is a very old tradition. We understand traditions do have to change with the times, because lots of people don't carry any cash. So for your convenience, you can also tip using your phone. You can scan the QR code we have down at the exit. All that leaves me to say, folks, is thank you for travelling with us. Thanks for listening to me. If you are leaving us, as soon as we're alongside, quickly make your way downstairs, because as soon as people have finished getting off, we go straight back to Westminster. But thank you very much for your very kind attention.